In our final example here, we're going to look at two things, and that is overloading of a function, and we're going to look at type promotion in those function calls. So overloading is not as heady and difficult a concept as it might seem. An overloaded function is simply one in which you have multiple functions with multiple different inputs or multiple different outputs, but they have the same name. So my overloaded function in this case is multiplication. And you guessed it, I'm going to do multiplication with these. One of them, though, I'm going to do integer multiplication. The other one, I'm going to do double multiplication. Running out of coffee, you can tell. So because multiplication makes the most sense for the name of this function based on what the function is going to do. I'm going to multiply. So I shouldn't have to, as a developer, say, look, I'm going to call one of these int multiplication and the other one double multiplication because they do the same thing. We can rely on C++ based on the parameters that we're going to pass to say, oh, you mean this multiplication, which works with doubles, versus you mean this multiplication, which works with integers. And the way we do that again is with the parameter list that we have. So let me just go ahead and run this and we'll see what happens. I'm going to enter two integers, 1 and 2. And next I'm going to enter two doubles, 2.3 and 3.4. So the result here is from calling multiplication, and that's right here inside of line 20. And you can see I just have a function call to multiplication, and I'm passing two integers, int1, int2. C++ knows at runtime which one to call because it's going to look at those two parameters, int, and it's going to look over here at its list of functions, and it's going to say, okay, one of them takes two integers. That's probably the one we need. That's how this is done. So here, this line of output is the result from calling double multiplication. I have that right here, and the result is right here in a cout statement on line 22. There's 1 and 2, which are my doubles. So I get the result of that multiplication as a double. So what about the idea here of promotion? Well, we can do that here as well. So what would happen is C++ would have to make a decision about what is most appropriate based on the rules of promotion. So let's say, for example, I would change this line number 4 multiplication to long instead of integer. So if, for instance, on line number it is 20, I am receiving two integer values, and then I make a call to multiplication, and I'm doing that by passing along two integer parameters. But I do not have a function that is accepting ints, but I do have one that will take long ints. So that's the easiest by rules of promotion for C++, to just promote those ints to long, and away we go. We can do that with float as well. So let's say here on line number 11, I would change these to float. So now I have two smaller floating point numbers that I'm going to pass to what? An integer. So that would go down, and there is no going down. Promotion goes the other way, right? So the easiest thing there via rules of promotion for C++ to do during runtime would be to choose double for the overloaded function there. So there is some type promotion that you can do here, but really the best general rule here would be don't do that. Write your program to, take the correct inputs and pass that along to the correct type of function.